What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another search engine optimization tip video. In today's tip video, I will be walking through what is local business schema and then how to add it for your website if you're a local business. So for context, local business schema is structured data that businesses are used to categorize and define information about themselves. It's a subtype of organization and place schema, inheriting properties from both of these markup types. A few examples of websites that are eligible for local business schema include restaurants, bars, car dealerships, gyms, yoga studios. Basically, any business that can provide a physical address are all eligible for this structured data type. So, there are a few steps that are involved with adding and creating local schema markup for your website. The first is just making sure that your name, address, and phone number are displayed in HTML text format on your website. A lot of businesses display these elements as images, but search engines can't crawl text displayed within images, which is why adding these as HTML elements is crucial. And then the next step is specifying what kind of organization you are. There are several different local business types that are eligible for local business schema. So you can parse it down depending on if your business falls within a specific category. And you can find this information on schema.org. And it will give a big list of specific schema types that you might be eligible for depending on what your business is. But if you don't fall in any of these categories, then we can just skip to the next part of actually writing up your schema to add to your website. So Google has outlined the required properties to include for your local business schema. This includes the globally unique ID of the specific business location in the form of URL for your website. You also have to include your postal address or the physical location of the business, as well as just the name of the business. And they provide some other recommended properties to fill out as well. And then these are also found within schema.org's local business section. So you can include any of these additional properties. You can do this by hand, but I prefer to use Merkle's schema markup generator. So you can just go in and it offers like a couple of different schema types that you can autofill or populate. And it does all the heavy lifting of writing up the script for you. So you basically just have to go in and then select, what local business type you might be. If there's a more specific type available, if there isn't for animal shelter, including the name, image URL, phone number, any specific information that you can include for the schema. And if you wanted to get more granular, you could also include your opening business hours, social profiles, and then any departments that your business has. So if you're like a car dealership, being able to include service side or sales side or internet side would be great when marking up your website with the schema. So an example of this actually is with AutoNation Chevrolet of Doral, where they have auto dealer local business schema included on their homepage of their website. And so they have all this information filled out. What we would do in our case is once we have filled out all this information within Merkle's schema markup generator tool, we would simply just plug in that information, whether it's the URL or the code snippet, into Google's structured data testing tool to make sure that there aren't any warnings or errors associated with the markup. And then once we've done that, we can then add the schema markup to the homepage of your website and then also insert it within the header of your website. If you have a WordPress website, you can utilize a couple of different plugins if you don't have access to the back end of your website or the source code of your website. But it's pretty simple, especially if you're just using this markup generator tool. and I hope you found this walkthrough to be helpful. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below, and I will see you all next week for another search engine optimization tip video.